Greetings, YouTube. I read a great line this week, and I apologize for not noting down who wrote it. It was in a tweet, so I'm not even sure if they're the originator of the line, but it is that everything looks like a conspiracy if you don't know how anything works. And that's very true. I'm going to give you an example in a very lighthearted way. When I was a kid, I thought blankets had heat in them. I thought blankets came with heat inside them, which, if you put a blanket on and you get warm and you don't know how that works, that is a viable explanation for why you now are warm. Obviously, the blanket had the heat in it, rather than understanding that the blanket has provided you with insulation and is now trapping in the heat that you provide. So my kid brain came up with that, and in retrospect, it's kind of cute. But that's the same kind of thing that's going on in politics in America, and unfortunately in quite a few places. People don't understand how the world works. They either come up with something on their own that kind of makes sense in that same kind of kid logic way, or they're susceptible for falling for the misinformation and disinformation produced by other people who have ill intent. They find themselves being drawn into conspiracies because the people that have originated the conspiracies are really good at manipulating them. Now, some folks that are, originate conspiracies are in the kid logic school of logic. They think something up because it explains something that they don't understand. But if they grasped, say, the basics of physics, or they understood the basics of immunology, vaccines and how they help us, reinforce and inform our immune systems to fight disease. If they had a working understanding of, biology and, say, botany when it comes to genetically engineered plants or any number of other things, they understand a little bit of sociology or a little bit of, political science, lots of different things would help them understand the world at large. But that's not what happens in America. Those who have been pushing conspiracy theories because it undermines other people's ability to make, the correct logical choices, have been putting forth a concerted effort to undermine the very fabric of education in America itself, to just keep whacking at the legs of the very foundation of our culture. Because if people aren't educated, they're easily duped. They're much more susceptible to that kid logic. Conspiracy theories seem comforting to them, just like that blanket did when I was a kid, because it explains things in a way that doesn't require them to learn anything. Someone just hands something to them and they go, hey, gee, thank you. Now, I've heard folks on the conspiracy side tell me that because I accept science, I am doing that exact thing. I am just accepting something that has been handed to me. That makes me no better than those that think that, vaccines cause autism, which they don't. But the problem is with that is that those folks don't have the science behind them. Those folks don't have the peer-reviewed articles and scientific data to support them. Whereas the folks that understand how, vaccines work and understand that they help support our immune systems and inform our immune system so that we are prepared ahead of time. So when the virus finally shows up, our body's like, yeah, we got this. That's what vaccines do. They simply inform you, just like a book would if you'd crack one open. But that's what vaccines do. And books do the same thing for everything else. If you understand some basic physics, because you've read some basic physics, even if you're no longer in high school, for example, you'd have a better understanding of the world, and you'd grasp that blankets, provide insulation. If you've read a little bit about political science and sociology, and I'm not saying you have to get into it wicked deep, but just something. I'm going to give you an example of a book that is very approachable. You can read the book Lies My Teacher Told Me and its companion, Lies Across America. two excellent books that help you understand that our nation has been built on a foundation of lies, that the mythology of America has been put forth rather than the actual history. They don't want you to know about the fact that this nation is, built upon stolen ground, literally, that it's a place built on white supremacy, genocide, and slavery. They don't want you to know about that. They don't want white people to feel guilty about the fact that other white people have done these things on their nation's ground. And that while they themselves may not have been involved in any of those things, they have benefited from those things. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that all the folks in America who are white and are privileged are standing on a pile of corpses. And that's why they've gotten so high in the social status. Again, ignorance serves those who want to manipulate you. Those that put forth the conspiracy theories want you to believe nonsense, so you don't actually believe the knowledge. That's important to them, because knowledgeable people won't support the folks spewing the conspiracy theories. I'm not going to support the folks that say chemtrails are a real thing, because I understand that when you have a hot engine way up in the air, it's going to leave vapor trails. I'm not going to think that the Israelites, or Israelis, I guess, have like space lasers. Yeah, not gonna believe that. That's not how that works. But there are folks who do. I'm not going to buy into the whole hollow earth theory or lizard people theory, because if you dig down far enough on those particular theories, you just find white nationalism. It's very boring. In fact, at the base of many conspiracies, if you dig down deep enough, you just find garden variety white supremacy. It's boring as hell. Even the ones that sound really neat, like hollow earth theories, are not all that neat when you get down to their foundations and their original folks that came up with them. No, they're very boring and prosaic, and it just white supremacy. Ignorance serves those who put forth conspiracies. So fight back against that. Don't be ignorant. Become informed. Listen to experts. Check out their references. Make sure that what they're saying is the truth. And when you hear the same thing from hundreds and thousands of experts, maybe they are telling you the truth, as opposed to the guy who you've met on Facebook who tells you that, vaccines are going to turn you blue or something. That they're going to suck out your vital bodily fluids. We need people who are making decisions based on knowledge, not conspiracy. Because not all the stories are cute like my blanket story. Some of them are just garden variety white supremacy. And we need to pull the blanket back on that and make sure it gets destroyed.